What's happening in Ladakh in 2024? To understand this, we need to take a brief look at the recent history. In 2019, a significant shift took place in the region of Jammu and Kashmir, which included Ladakh. The Indian government, led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, revoked Article 370, stripping Jammu and Kashmir of their special status. This move resulted in the bifurcation of the region into two parts, Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, both now governed directly by New Delhi. This change brought with it a slew of restrictions on democratic rights, including a crackdown on activists and journalists, and even internet shutdowns. Further changes included the removal of Article 35A, which allowed non-Kashmiris to buy property in the region, sparking concerns about potential demographic shifts. This backdrop sets the stage for the events of 2024 in Ladakh. In 2024, Ladakh has been in the news for widespread protests. But what are they protesting about? Let's delve into the core reasons behind the unrest. First up is the demand for statehood. Residents of Ladakh seek to be a separate state, independent of Jammu and Kashmir. It's their belief that this autonomy will afford them more control over their resources and development. Next on the list is the aspiration for inclusion under the 6th schedule of the Indian Constitution. This provision grants special rights to tribal communities, and Ladakhis hope it would provide them with greater autonomy in managing their affairs. However, it's not just about political autonomy. There's a deep-seated fear of losing cultural and ethnic identity. Ladakh, with its Buddhist majority, is apprehensive about demographic changes and outside influence that could dilute their unique heritage. These are not just protests for the sake of protests. These are the voices of a people striving to protect their rights, their resources, and their identity. These reasons have fueled a year of unrest in Ladakh. Now, let's walk through the timeline of these protests. The year 2024 began with a swell of unrest in Ladakh. On the 3rd of February, a large-scale shutdown engulfed the districts of Leh and Kargil. From bustling markets to quiet monasteries, a wave of public anger echoed through the icy mountain passes. This wasn't a spontaneous outburst, but a calculated display of unity organized by a united front of Ladakhi groups. Throughout February, the Indian government and Ladakhi representatives sat across negotiation tables multiple times, but the conversations seemed to lead nowhere. The people of Ladakh waited for a concrete decision, but all they received were promises shrouded in ambiguity. Then, on the 4th of March, Ladakhi representatives met with the Home Minister, Amidst. Hopes were high, but the outcome of the meeting was, unfortunately, not a positive one. The representatives returned to Ladakh, their faces mirroring the disappointment of their people. So what now? Well, as we stand here today, on the 20th of March, the protests seem to be on a temporary hold, but the echo of their demands still lingers in the cold Ladakhi air. The negotiations between the Ladakhi people and the Indian government are ongoing, but the outcome remains to be seen. The situation in Ladakh remains tense as no positive outcome has been reached yet. As of today, March 20th, 2024, where does Ladakh stand? In the face of ongoing tensions, the fiery spirit of Ladakh seems to be in a state of temporary calm. The protests that once thrummed through the streets of Leh and Kargil have been put on pause. But make no mistake, the underlying issues that spark this outcry are far from resolved. The demands for statehood, inclusion under the 6th schedule, and protection of Ladakh's unique cultural identity remain potent and unresolved. The Indian government and representatives of Ladakh are locked in negotiations. These dialogues, while important, have yet to yield any concrete decisions. The February discussions proved fruitless, and even the meeting with Home Minister Amidst on March 4th did not lead to a positive outcome, at least from the perspective of the Ladakhi representatives. So, the situation remains delicately balanced. The pause in protests is not an end, but perhaps a momentary respite. The demands of the Ladakhi people still hang in the balance, their future uncertain. Tensions continue to simmer beneath the surface, a quiet reminder of the unresolved issues that triggered this wave of civil unrest. As we watch these events unfold, it's essential to remember that the heart of the matter is about people and their quest for rights and recognition. It's about a community's desire to preserve its cultural heritage and have a greater say in its destiny. For more updates on the situation in Ladakh, keep an eye on credible news sources. Remember, understanding the world around us helps us make sense of our place in it.